Welcome to Nomad Talk. Today I'm joined by Lizzie.
Hello.
Hello, thank you for coming.
Of course.
And yeah, we're just gonna have a chat about what your life has been like since you became a nomad.
Yeah.
So, could you tell me where you're from?
I am from the UK. I say London because I lived there for 10 years. I lived in Cambridge for 10 years before that, before I was travelling with my family. So, London.
London.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you leave London?
I left London about a year and a half ago, actually, to travel full time.
Was there anything that made you leave London in the first place?
So many things.
Okay.
I think for all of us, there's so many things. I actually I'd started Lizzie and Hook a year before I started traveling, and I just couldn't think. There are a lot of reasons to travel, but then I couldn't think of any why I wouldn't at that point, so I just did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's Lizard and Hook?
Lizard and Hook is my crochet brand. I'm a crochet designer, and artist, and I travel the world and work remotely, designing, creating, and working with other amazing people and women around the world to create the designs that you can buy, or things for free, or just everything basically. It's like a community project, but we all have businesses with that as well, and we all support each other. So yeah.
You lived in London for 10 years,
Yes.
you said?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Amazing. London is one of the coolest places ever, and I think if I had not lived there for 10 years, it would definitely be somewhere that I was going to, Yeah. It's really cool, such a great mixture of people, creativity. I lived in the artist district for 4 years. It is really vibrant, and there's something to do every single day, all the time, inspiration everywhere. But it can be difficult. It's very expensive. It can be very lonely, especially because there's people from all over the place. It's not like obviously some people are from there and you have your family there and everything, but so many of us move there that it is an effort to find that community and your people,
Can you estimate the living cost there?
The cheapest rent you could possibly get that is okay to live in. Not even okay. I was going to say £700, but it's not even really okay anymore. They did that thing I saw on Instagram where they were guessing whether it was a London accommodation or a prison cell. And so many of them were wrong, because it's and then at the end they put the prices, and it was a lot of the rooms that were actually accommodation in London where people thought they were prison cells, and they were £700 to £800 a month.
That's
so it was
horrendous.
You would have to, I think you'd have to have at least £1,000 to £1,200 to live somewhere where you would really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you would feel I'd be happy to bring people around all the time. Yeah.
See.
And even if you didn't have that as a mind, as a thing of oh, I don't want people to see, it's you won't have enough you won't have enough room to fit people in your bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I lived in the warehouse artist district, so it was
everything's free there.
Not everything is free, but everything was so much less expensive. I think I was joking about this the other day. Well, when I moved in, my rent was $625, and when I left, it was $690. And the guy that owns the place tried to make it $705, and I was oh, I'm just not going to pay that, because I was I'm not feeding into this
capitalist machine.
No, where I'm going to just continue to pay through the nose. Every 6 months, you're going to charge me up. I was if I live here and I contribute to maintaining the household, I'd paint a lot of the walls and make sure everything was clean, and do gardening and stuff, I'm not paying more.
Okay, so it was a £15 rent increase in London that made you leave.
No, that's not what made me leave, but that was, I'm just trying to give you a gauge of the lifestyle. It was just the rate of everything was climbing to a degree that I was oh, I'm not having enough fun to justify how much money I'm spending here. When I've been to other places, I lived in Lisbon on and off for 4 years, and I was even though that comes with its own problems in terms of pricing the local people out, which is one of the reasons I'm no longer moving there. The lifestyle is it's a nicer lifestyle. You can go to the beach every day,
right,
and have a nice life, and the weather's a bit better. People are a bit less depressed. Like so it's things like that,
Yeah.
and then you do that once and you're like, oh, I'm sure there are like so many other places in the world that will suit me better than the lifestyle that I'm currently living. And then you go to another place and you're like, wow, I fall in love with this place, and you do that 10 times, and then you figure out which one is your favorite and you move there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you now? Where are we now?
We are in Chiang Mai in northern Thailand right now, considered the capital of the north, I believe.
How would you say the living expenses compare here and in London?
So different. Even just the food every single day is a lot. Thing is, the word I was going to say cheaper, but that implies that there's some level of like quality that's different. Like I feel like the quality of food that I eat here is the same, if not better, because I'm eating so many fruit and veg like every single day. But it's just, I'm spending £4 on food a day instead of like 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, would you say your living costs have halved or more than that?
Oh yeah, more than halved.
More than halved?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Would you say that's an important factor for you when you decide where to live, or is it not high on the priority list?
I didn't think that it would be super high on the priority list, as long as I was able to maintain the lifestyle that I was enjoying and like forming the communities and being a part of the things that I could like contribute to and also like benefit from in some way. But like I was in Hawaii for 3 months, and it had similar vibes to this in terms of the greenery of the landscape and the calmness of the people and like the lifestyle, but it's 5 times the price every single day.
Wow.
And it made a difference in a way that I didn't think it would. Yeah. Which you're like, oh, you can just go to the beach every day, you can do this every day. But it is just like everything is, it makes it feel not as fun, but it's still so fun. But yeah, it is different. Yeah.
What would you say is one of the main reasons that you want to be a digital nomad compared to doing a regular job?
Ooh. I just love traveling. Yeah, I love traveling.
Okay.
I love people as well. I think that's a big thing that is maybe not like about traveling that's not mentioned as much. I just love chatting to people. Yeah. All different kinds of people, learning new things, like learning about new cultures.
You say that someone who didn't really enjoy traveling, would you still recommend this lifestyle to them?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is there such a thing? Don't come.
Don't do it. If you had like one place that you really liked, like go to that place and chill there for a while and then go home. Or like go to a neighbouring country and come back into the place that you like, or get a visa for that place, or whatever it is. But it's like I love traveling so much, and it's been 1.5 years and I'm exhausted, and that's one of the reasons I've kind of stayed here now for a while. But yeah, if you don't like traveling, it's not.
And do you find that for you personally there's any downsides to this lifestyle?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it balances out. Like the negatives are not big enough to make me not want to do this. But you can, like I was in Vietnam for almost a month, and I was like, I think that's the first time I felt loneliness traveling. And I was like, oh, this is the thing that I've been warned about, that people would always say, and I've been like, I've never been lonely traveling anywhere. And then I went to Vietnam and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really overwhelmed. It's like the first time where I wasn't going out all of the time to like build community and friendships and everything. It was just like a lot. Vietnam is amazing, like it's the coolest place ever. I just didn't do enough research beforehand. But I would say like that's one of the things. You miss out on things from home as well, it's like your friends getting married or having babies, like they're FaceTiming you or messaging you, but it's different to like being a part of everything.
So you mentioned maybe a feeling of isolation sometimes.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's easier, more difficult, or just different making friends while living this lifestyle?
I actually like it a lot. For me, it's really worked. When you go somewhere and you make good friends with people, I feel like I've met more lifelong friends in the last 1.5 years that I think I will keep for life than I have when I was in London for not 4 years, because I did meet a lot of people. I lived with 20 people, so they're all my like family as well now. But yeah, it's people that are doing something similar to you. Even if you have a completely different job, they have had the same mindset of saying, I want to do something different, I want to leave my home country, I want to be living a different way, I'm going to leave everything behind and like actively try and form a new life. And that's like pretty brave, I think, for anyone, for everyone. So when you meet people, you're all in that similar mindset. I find that it's depending on where you go and what the makeup of the digital nomad scene is like in that area. When you meet people and you become friends with them, it's like you're meant to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Whereas like I still am friends with people from school and from university, but like a lot of that is circumstantial, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you're put together when you're 14 years old,
yeah,
and you love them, but it's you met them because you're 14. Whereas when
Yeah.
you're older, it's like more of a choice.
Yeah.
So you become close friends with people through choice.
Is it more transient though, the friendship? Do they kind of come and go a bit more while you're traveling?
Yes, but you always meet them again.
Do you say that relationships can function in the same way when you're traveling as friendships do, where you can kind of like see them when you see them, or does that mean for relationships it's a different system for you?
It would be different, I think, for me, but everyone is different as well. Like I value quality time. Well, another like love language stuff, you know, like quality time spent and like physical touch and stuff like that. But for me, it's just like I lose interest in that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work for me in the same way.
Yeah.
It's more, I'll form like great connections with people and then I'll see them again, but I would never be like, we're in a full-time relationship because that's not the way that my lifestyle works.
Yeah.
But if I like met someone here, I would be more open to it because we, like a lot of people settle in Chiang Mai. You know, so you're like, oh, we'll be here for at least a year or two.
Yeah.
So then you can start to like form connections. So it's more about the type of traveling and digital nomading that you're doing. Like also if I met somebody and we were in the same place and they would just go away for 2 weeks at a time, again, fine.
Yeah.
Just not if they're like traveling 3 months around the world. Yeah, it's like slightly different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can make things difficult, but also I don't mind.
How would you say is the easiest way for nomads to kind of connect with each other and meet each other? Do you think that people just naturally kind of bump into each other, or do you think that people generally use apps, or how would they date?
Do you mean here in Chiang Mai or just in general?
I think nomads in general, yeah.
Nomads in general. I've lived in a lot of colos, so basically spaces where it's kind of like a house share, but it's also a workspace, and it tends to like you don't share rooms or anything. It's not like a dorm. Like you'll have your own room, your own bathroom, and like share maybe a kitchen or something. And across the world, there's different companies that I've stayed with, or like different setups. Like Hawaii was like a skyscraper with 20 people, and then Costa Rica, I was maybe with 5 people, like by the ocean. You know, so it's like a similar layout, a similar setup for like what it is. But then they're just through different lenses in every place that you are, depending on like accommodation and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would meet a lot of people there for like friendships and relationships, and people that you might work with as well and just share interests with.
What country would you say has been the worst for dating?
The worst for dating? Oh, Vietnam.
Oh.
I mean, you used to live there, so you know.
Fine for me.
Okay. Vietnam for me. Okay. Yeah.
Why Vietnam?
I didn't actually date anyone. I think Vietnam's the only place that I didn't go on a date with anyone.
Really?
Yeah, it was like I found it a little more difficult, as I said, to like break into spaces because they didn't really have co-working spaces like this. Like it would be more like an office or something.
Yeah.
So I try and talk to people and they'd be like, I don't speak English. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But like, you know, it's like, yeah. No, I feel like it was a little more difficult to meet people in real life for me personally. And then the online scene was, if I didn't reply within like a day, they would just unmatch you.
Really?
And I was talking to someone about this, and it was like a lot of the time it's like the apps are like just for hookups.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I will like want to make friends and stuff, and they'd be like, oh, you're not gonna have sex with me, bye.
Whoa.
So, yes,
Yeah.
but that's fine. Everyone's experience is different. That was my personal experience. I'm sure
Yeah.
so many people have had amazing connections through dating apps in Vietnam.
Yeah. It would be the best place.
For dating in general, or like on apps, or what's?
Oh, either, yeah.
Oh, dating in general. Hawaii was a good place for me personally.
Okay.
I wasn't going through a good time, so I don't know, but it was a good place for that because I think it was just like hot and everyone was chilling and friendly and surfing.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Surfer guys.
it was a good lifestyle.
Okay. What do you do as your work while you're traveling?
Also, I'm a crochet designer. I design blueprints, like patterns for clothing, and then test with a group of people around the world so that they basically make my pattern from scratch. And we basically have a big group chat and we go back and forth for a month and they tell me corrections, whether it's like with the spelling or the sizing, and I have people of different sizes and heights and shapes and everything so that we can get the pattern as perfect as we can for everyone. And then if I can't, I'll like write notes in the pattern and stuff. But it takes about a month. It takes a while for me to write it. Sometimes it's like 3 days and sometimes it's 2 months for me to write a pattern. And then we'll test for about a month every time. Maybe 3.5 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, depending on how big the project is. But yeah, that's what I do. And then they give me all their feedback and photos and we have a big launch. And then I just do that over and over again.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the job.
Amazing. How did you start doing this in the first place?
I had created an Instagram account before maybe 6 months before the first COVID lockdown. I was like, I've been crocheting for however many years, and I just needed somewhere where it was like a portfolio for my work. I was like, I'm not selling these, I'm not doing anything. I feel like I should just put them out there somehow. And I created a design called the Sunburst Mosaic Pattern Bralette. And yeah, I had that up for about 8 months. And every time I was posting it, people would be like, where's the pattern? I'd be like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I was like, I'm just making this up. Yeah. And it happened for a while. And then when I left the last job that I had, I was living with my sister. And I was like, you know what? I have loads of time. I'm just going to make this pattern. So I made it. And then it was, all of my patterns now are like 15 to 20 pages long. But the first one was like 36 pages. It was like everything inside of my brain put down on paper. And it did really well within 1 week. Like I had no idea that it would actually work. Like I hadn't even really gone in to have a business. I'd gone in as a portfolio. But when I released my first pattern, I already had between like 30 and 50,000 followers. So it meant that the minute I actually dropped anything, it became a business immediately. Yeah.
How did you decide after that first pattern was so successful that this was going to be your main thing now?
I decided pretty much the day that I released the pattern that that's what I wanted to do. And then after a week, I knew that this would be my business. Like that I would not need to get another job, like that would be it. I had already built up a base of between, I can't remember the exact number, between 30 and 50,000 followers already. So by the time I dropped the first pattern, I already had an audience, which I didn't really have a plan for how it was going to go. I just made it and was like, people had been asking for it, and I was like, oh, one of the 20 people that's asked me about this is going to buy it. Yeah. You know? And then, yeah, I did it and it really worked. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
Well, hadn't worked out, what would you have done?
I don't know. I think for a while, I'd always been, I'd be social media managing. I still kind of think that maybe I will do that on the side a little bit as well, just because I do have time for that, I guess. Sometimes, like I sometimes feel like I might have time for that. Yeah. I'd probably be doing something with social media managing. I was going to say marketing, but I think I would do, which can be super creative. But I think something to do with being an artist. Like I was in the costume department, and then before that I was doing like acting and modeling. Before that I was working in an art gallery. So I was always around creative people and like creative projects, regardless of which lens that was going through. I always liked to be around creativity. So I'm not exactly sure what I would be doing. A lot of the times I just get jobs because I meet someone and I'm like, that's a cool job, can I work for you?
So you said you built up between 30 to 50,000 followers before you even launched your first pattern.
Yes, yeah.
How did you grow to that size before selling anything?
I think it was, again, one of when I was saying about the synchronicity of like everything falling into place at the right time. I had made the account, and this was kind of just before lockdown, and I feel like crochet became very popular in lockdown. I had been obsessed for a few years before lockdown, so by the time that I created my account and I already had 20, 30 pieces that I could photograph, that's when everyone was interested in the beginning. So I was already somebody that had made loads of pieces. Like, I wasn't a beginner. I was like, here is my work. People that don't know about this, do you want to like be part of the community, essentially? Everyone was at home all the time, wanted something to do. Crochet was like a great outlet for people. So I built it that way. And my main goal was, because I wasn't creating a business at this time, I honestly just wanted to make friends. Like, we were in a lockdown, and I was like, I can't talk to any of my flatmates about crochet. They will kill me after like a week of talking about this. So I was like, who am I going to talk to? So I was putting up pictures, interacting with people, like making friends with people online, supporting others as well. Like that thing where we'd all follow each other, go into big groups, like have chats. Like, it's even now, like I've met up with other crochet people in real life, and we'll just sit for hours and talk about crochet, and I'm like, this is my happy place. So that's basically why I created the account, was to just have like community. And a lot of my friends that are pattern designers now are people that I met right at the beginning, like 5 years ago, where we all just kind of formed this community and support each other. Yeah, I think as well, I always write very long captions about just what's going on in my life, or like where I am at that point, or like the inspiration for the piece. So it's super chatty, and it really enabled people to connect with it more because they knew that it was me, not just a brand. So even though I don't put my face on there a lot, it's like a lot of people know my story or my personality, or that kind of thing. So I think that's what really grew the business. And then I equally just love other people's work as well. Even now, there's nothing in me where it's like, oh, this thing has 15 likes on it. It's like, no, of course I'm still going to like it. Of course I'm still going to interact with it. Like, if I think that I like that piece, it's never about, it was about numbers when I dropped the pattern, but in terms of like supporting other people, it's like, that's not an issue. And I think that's why it's worked, because you can see that it's genuine. Like, my love is for crochet, and then the business is business, and first and foremost, I just want to hang out with other people that crochet, like other artists. Like, I had someone the other day that messaged me, and she supported me for a really long time, and she just said, like, sent me a message. She was like, oh, I'm really nervous, I want to make a pattern, but I'm not sure how. And I'm just a bit nervous about it. And I was like, oh, like, send me your idea, send me pictures, like, we can talk through it, like, what you need. And this is just like somebody that's been, like, I don't know her personally, but I've seen that she's been supporting the page for a long time. So it's things like this where it's like, I care.
Have you always kind of had this entrepreneurial mindset, or was this something that came?
I don't know if I ever knew that that's what it was. I just knew that I no longer wanted to work for men. I didn't want to work for old men anymore. I just didn't want to do it. I've always been the youngest person or the youngest woman in the room. Yeah, like basically all of the time. And I was like, okay, like I'm talented in this specific area. Like, I have my 2 degrees, I have my mark, I've done everything, and I'm still being treated like I have no expertise on anything, or no. And I know that it takes a really long time to get to a point where you have expertise on something. But like, I don't know. Yeah. I basically felt like I was being a little boxed in a lot of ways. Also, I think it was like, I'm an artist and I was not living as an artist. And I think that was a big thing for me as well. But no, I didn't know that I was going to be an entrepreneur forever. It was more process of elimination, where it's like, okay, can I work in a company? I don't think so. Can I work like as a freelancer? Yeah, but it's still like having a boss as a freelancer it's still like, okay, I have to be like on set at this time, I have to do this, I have to do this many hours, like I can't. There are times where I absolutely loved it, like when I was doing the acting and modeling stuff, that was like such a good time of my life. And it was great because everything was kind of organized. So it was just like, show up at this place, somebody will take you in a car or on a bus to this place. We'll do your makeup, get on set, you can read a book for the day, you're good. Like, it was fun.
Yeah.
Made loads of friends, it was amazing. But still, that felt like I wasn't reaching any of the goals that I wanted to reach. I was like, oh, this is making me money, but I'm not achieving anything apart from like, oh, look, that's me for 5 seconds in a TV show, you know? So yeah, I was like, I want something that kind of feeds my soul a bit more. So yeah, it was just process of elimination until I got to the job that I like. Yeah, I did that thing where, like the mind map thing, where you think of the lifestyle that you want to have, and then you work backwards from there rather than forwards. So I was like, okay, I want to have a lifestyle where I'm traveling. I want to be able to have enough money in my bank account at all times where I can get a first class ticket from any country in the world back to London. That was like, there were these things where I had like a list of things that I wanted and needed, and then I was like, how am I gonna work my way up to that?
Wow.
And then all the decisions I kind of kept those main things in mind, you know?
Do you have any figures that inspire you in this field that have done similar things or are doing similar things to you?
Because crochet is not a super huge community, there are a couple of people like within the community where I saw what they were doing, like Nirvana. There are a couple of artists like this. I think there's like Marie Castro as well. She has a big following actually. She was like the OG. She was one of the OGs. And then my friends, like some of them are just doing the most beautiful, like Brie from Moon and Bailey's, Nadia from I Am Lanka, Jan from Surat, like loads of people doing like amazing work, and I see some of the work and I'm like, that is crazy, amazing, detailed. And then also being able to keep up the social media and business side of it, which is something that I do, but I have to, it's like I find it difficult to juggle all of them.
Yeah.
But there are some people that are just nailing it.
Are there any controversial figures in the weaving world?
Because there are times where people have like stolen each other's patterns, and I made a very basic pattern the other day, which is I'm doing a series on squares, and it's for beginners on how to make pieces from squares essentially. So you can make like cowl necks, or you can do bandos.
You came up with square?
No. Just as in like basically.
I don't want to say you stole squares
like
from someone.
Different kinds of squares. So I'm doing like the like virus stitch square. I'm doing the shell square. I'm doing like the sunburst square, and I make them all into larger squares that you can wear as tops. And it's basically a series for beginners to learn how to make more intricate looking pieces, but super basic. Like as long as you know how to single, half, double crochet and double crochet, you can make all of these like really intricate looking pieces. Made one the other day, literally just a square, shell square. Somebody had made one like it before and got very upset with me because I had a bigger following. So it meant that they were like, you need to take that down because people think that it's yours. And I was like, I'm so sorry, like I didn't mean to do this. It's literally, I honestly didn't. But then there's like drama. So now she hates me. And then, but other things where it's like people have actively stolen patterns from like bigger designers will steal them maybe from smaller designers because like you can't track it. Obviously I gave her credit on everything because I was like, shit, sorry. Like I genuinely didn't mean There was a company that I won't say, that worked with a fast fashion company. And a lot of no, but it's still around.
Zara.
It was Zara. They created a pattern that they would sell the pattern and the yarn, like as an exclusive thing with Zara, or actually I don't know if I'm allowed to say Zara, as an exclusive thing with this brand, with this fast fashion brand, and the patterns that they were selling with the kits were more expensive than the physical finished items, which means that the people making them were earning so little that it was more. It was like so underpaid that it was cheaper to buy a fully done one than just the materials and a booklet.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the video so far and you'd like us to create some content for yourself or for your business, we have a creative agency, realspacecreatives.com. We do social media management and all kinds of content creation. Drop us a DM and we can take it from there. Now, back to the video. Can you tell me about what's the biggest lesson that you've learned now compared to when you started on this journey?
For me, the community is the most important thing to me. Yeah, because like trends and fashions go in and out, your income goes up and down depending on the season, what you're putting out, how long the breaks have been between each patterns, but it's like it's the community that you're in, that people that you're interacting with every day. It's like keeping good relationships and like genuinely supporting others.
So what do you do with all the pieces?
So yeah, I just normally keep them. I sell a couple of them. I give them away a lot as well, actually.
If you could go back to the very start of this endeavor and give yourself one piece of business advice, what would it be?
Maybe take up the offer to work with a couple of people that you didn't work with. Yeah. It's like either brands or people that wanted to like help me with the like be a part of the business, but I was like, I just want to keep it from just to me right now because I want to travel and I want to have my freedom and I don't want to be feeling like somebody else is relying on me for like income, or not even just income, just even like messaging to be like, have you done this today, But I think I would go back and say, no, you should get more people involved early on, because now it's like people still do like want to be a part of it, but it feels like I can't let go of the control. And at the beginning I should have done it, because now I do everything. I do like all of the marketing, all the photography, all of the modeling, all of the making, all of the pattern writing, all of the emails, all the admin. I do my own taxes, like all of these things. No, I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
And just because I can do them, like when I was at the art gallery, I was the bookkeeper, so I did all of the taxes for the art gallery for years. But because I could do that, now my thought process is like, why would I get somebody else to do it when I can do it? But then when you have that with every single aspect of the business, it's like, it's a lot.
Where would you like the business to get to in like, the next 5-10 years? Where would you see that it grows to, or would you like it to be exactly where it is now?
I would like it to expand in different ways, but not necessarily upwards. Like my goal is not to say I want to have 1 million followers, I want to have this, I want to have that, I want to have this amount of income. It's more, I want to put out a couple of books. I want to be able to just maintain the lifestyle that I have. I want to be happy. Like, it's like I'm not like doing the grind culture thing where it's like more money, more everything. It's like, no, it's more like I want to expand like my whole life. Rather than just like upwards and like more passive income as well. Like I said, with the books, I love reading other crochet books and like having them around as like coffee table books, or I would love to write one like that because I know that I love to read them, and I think that's a big part of the business as well. I want to put out things that I would want to buy and I would want to read. Maybe YouTube videos as well, some tutorials. I'm already kind of in the works filming a lot of that.
So you said you went to university, you got master's degrees. Yes. What are your academic kind of qualifications?
So for my undergrad, I went to SOAS, School of Oriental and African Studies in central London, and I did art history and archaeology. And then for my postgrad, my master's, I went to UCL and I did anthropology, and I specialised in material and visual culture, which makes sense, right?
Yeah. How many hours a week would you say you work?
It depends. Depends if I have a pattern coming out or like what's happening. Work like 6 hours a week.
6 hours a week?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Sometimes more. If I have a pattern coming out, I'll just work for like 12 hours, 13 hours of the day to make sure that it's getting out, But I don't always need to. And then some days I'll work 5 hours and then I won't work for a couple of days.
What would you say is the most common way that you turn leads into sales?
I think by giving discounts or particular packages at different times to different people, essentially. Because of the way that it's set up, I don't have a problem getting leads. It's more like I have the product and they come to me for the product, and a lot of people will come and wait until the sale drops. So I'll just make it very obvious when it's happening. Sometimes say it in advance, so even if I lose out sales for a few days, it's like they know it's coming. There'll be a build up of people coming for that particular sale. So for example, there was a lady that messaged me and she was like, I really love your patterns. This one I wasn't like too sure about, like I didn't like it as much. You could have done this and this. And she wasn't a tester or anything, it was just like a person that bought my pattern.
Yeah.
And I think she was not disappointed about something. I think my patterns can be different. Like I don't often have like charts in my patterns or anything. So I just said to her like, oh, can I send you a bunch of my other patterns and you can give me some feedback on what you think I'm doing right and wrong in these patterns, just so that for other people, because my testers as well, a lot of them can already crochet. So it's like, and have been doing it for a long time. I try and get a mixture of people and like levels, but it's like if you're an intermediate crocheter and I've said that the pattern is confident beginner and you're not feeling confident in it, like it's good feedback for me. So yeah, the way it's kind of like that stuff, it's like actually treating customers like they're actual people, like having a chat with them, apologizing when you need to apologize, giving discounts when you know that, you know, people have messaged me and said, I can't afford this right now, can you let me know when the sale is coming on? And I'll tell them, like, because I'll be like, I know that you, like a lot of people, I recognize their names as well from their handles or like chatting to me for a while on and off, or just like liking or commenting on things. So I'll always like give them a heads up for things. And I think that's being super honest about what's going on as well is like how you turn people like leads into sales as well.
Which platforms do you sell on?
But Etsy sorts out a lot of my like VAT tax stuff, so it's kind of easy to work with another company, so that's easy. But the web, I really want to do my own website. That's kind of the next thing. But yeah, just Etsy right now, and I use Instagram as my main marketing tool, with all the links there, and then I use Pinterest as well. Actually, love Pinterest.
How did you come up with your pricing structure in the first place?
So it really depends because it's not physical items. And a lot of the time the physical items, it's like, you know, it's how much yarn is and the time and how many hours you're paying yourself, how much money you're paying yourself per hour added on. And then you add on a certain percentage afterwards. Everyone is different with the percentage that they add on afterwards. As a kind of like retail organization, because it's all the stuff around making things as well. It's like running the business takes you a long time. Oh, as I said that I work 6 hours a week. Now, when I first started, it was very different. Like I was working like hardcore every single day. It's more now that it's like 6 hours. For me, it is about time taken, and it is the detail of the pattern, because, you know, I have a pattern that's literally just like a V bralette, and you can make it as like a super basic beginner. And I think that one is like £2.50 or £3. And then I have a jumper that took me 35 hours to make, and it's a little bit more detailed, and it's like every single panel is slightly different sizes. It's like, it looks very simple, but it's a lot more detailed. And like the first pattern might be 16 pages, and that pattern might be like 25 pages. So I like to structure the pricing by like how long the patterns are in combination with the detail of the pattern as well.
Oh, okay. I see. So it's based off your time and energy roughly translates to how much you'll charge for each pattern.
Yeah, but like it might take me, I don't know, you know, like 70, 100 hours to make a pattern, or it might take me 5 hours to make a pattern. But I'm not going to charge myself, if I'm charging myself like 30 or 40 pounds an hour, 100 hours of that, like that's so much of my time, but I'm not going to price my patterns over £9, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always a balance in there. And then people message me being like, oh, your patterns are really affordable. Some people messaging me being like, oh, your patterns are so expensive. It's a combination of so many things, like your disposable income, which country you're living in, and the economy there, you know, like it's like £10 in the UK is so different to £10 here, you know, like £5,000. Yeah. So it's like always trying to kind of have that combination. And then putting things on sale as well when I know that like particular people want sale, or it's a particular holiday in a certain country or something, you know.
How would you say that you future-proof yourself against changes in the industry?
I'm going into slightly different areas. So at the moment, I'm just making patterns, like PDF patterns that I sell online. And I am going into doing more video tutorials for YouTube. I'm hoping to work with a couple of other companies that like make courses, like visual courses online, writing the books as well. Yeah, I feel like that's how I'm kind of future-proofing myself, is by opening up into different avenues, because a lot of I'm very proud of the type of content that I put out, actually. I think I have a very distinct style, like a lot of people have told me, because I don't put my face really in any of them, but they're like, we can tell from the way that you literally crochet, like I crochet with my fingers in a slightly different position, or like where I'm filming or where I'm taking photos, like I put a lot of effort into that. And I think that in this time where a lot of the content is like more like TikTok-y, which is amazing, and I watch them all the time. Mine is slightly different. It's a lot more pictures based. And I really thought that for a long time, but it's my niche. It's the thing that I do that I'm like recognized and known for. So I'm always going to continue to do that rather than follow the trends necessarily. But also expanding into slightly different areas of the crochet world, as books, courses, online tutorials. That's kind of the next thing to future-proof.
Do you have a distinct marketing strategy per se?
As I said, the photos and videos that I put out, I think that's really my only marketing.
Well,
like I don't pay for any ads or anything, which I think is totally fine. Like especially like in this landscape right now, I think like if you need to do it, do it. But no, I just don't. I just have very distinct look to the photos that I put out, and I think that it's become recognizable to the people that follow me or in the community. So that's like my main form of marketing. And then Etsy does marketing for you as well, which is another reason I stay with them.
So you generally will post a photo, description about the pattern, and then a link to the Etsy as a call to action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Very straightforward, but very effective.
Super straightforward.
Yeah.
I've like had a couple of people ask me as well about like how they would go about, like other crocheters asking that like are building their platform, asking how I would do it. And it's also, it's reusing some of the content you already have as well. Obviously it's good if you're taking photos if you're wearing the same outfit, do it in a few different locations so that you have different backdrops to everything, and you can post them like 2 months apart or something, you know. It's always like making sure that you are putting links on every single thing that you have, because like you might think that it's super annoying, but that person, this may be the first time they've seen it, and if you don't put it up, they're not going to click on it.
Yeah.
So, and the people that do support you don't mind if you're doing that. They're like, get that money, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, and if somebody unfollows you because you've put too many links in there, it's like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Maybe that triggered you in some way, you know? Like, I'm not, like, it's fine. So, yeah.
Okay.
Main marketing strategy, I guess. Good photos, links everywhere. Make it easy for people to find you.
Oh. It's been very eye-opening talking to you.
Thank you for talking to me. This is fun. Yeah. Well, this actually, you can wear it, so you can wear it like across the top here, or you can wear it with the arms, so it's just the sleeves. But you put your arms through, you know, it's like a top. Yeah. It's like I'm sweaty.
Oh, it's very soft.
It is alpaca.
It's alpaca.
Yeah, which is why I haven't been wearing it too much, because it's like
stretching it. With my
with my muscles.
With my massive muscles.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty. What a look.
Yeah?
Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, if you need any more models or anything for your shoots.
Oh yeah.